On Republic Day, we congratulate ourselves. The Constitution is invoked in solemn tones. Fighter jets slice the sky. Political leaders speak of democracy, unity, and the greatness of our republic. Honestly, I never miss the Republic Day parade ever. I've been watching it since I was in school. Call me sentimental, but sometimes I get teary eyed watching the soldiers march or seeing the gallantry awards handed out. But this year, I caught the parade on YouTube. You know how the comments just fly past during a live stream. And suddenly, one particular message popped up: release Sonam Wangchuk. It was easy to miss just one more comment lost in a seas of tricolor emojis and patriotic slogans. But that one line nailed the contradiction at the heart of our democracy right now. Because while the Republic was celebrating, one of its most sincere nation builders remained locked in a legal limbo, increasingly invisible, slowly forgotten. Sonam Wangchuk. He is not a disruptor. He is not a professional agitator. He is not an ideologue trying to tear the system down. He's exactly the kind of citizen India always says it admires. For many years, Wangchuk stuck it out in Ladakh, back when most people barely even thought about the place. He built homes that could handle minus 20 temperatures. He figured out how to harvest water in a freezing desert. He reimagined education. He even worked with the Indian Army, coming up with solar heated tents and mud shelters for our soldiers posted in those brutal high altitude areas. Whenever he talked about innovation, climate resilience, or education, India, we all cheered. Social media loved him. Influencers reposted his videos. Politicians called him a constructive patriot. And social media, remember, flooded with comments: respect, sir, pride of India. But sadly, everything changed the second he started asking political questions. When Wangchuk began demanding statehood for Ladakh and constitutional protection under the sixth schedule, all that applause suddenly got awkward. When he pointed out that development without representation was pointless, the patience ran out. When he said real sustainability means political dignity, the system turned him out. Not long after, peaceful protests broke out in Leh, some of which, of course, we must remember, turned violent. The authorities hit back with the National Security Act, one of the harshest preventive detention laws around in our country. Wangchuk was picked up and sent far from Ladakh all the way to Jodhpur Central Jail. No conviction, no trial, just preventive detention. I know a lot of you already know this, but it's important to say it again. Since then, court date after court date has passed. Petitions have been filed. Arguments have been made about procedural lapses, delayed disclosure of grounds, and the misuse of extraordinary powers. And yet, a resolution remains elusive. Adjournments pile up, time stretches, so nothing has happened till now. Republic Day speeches talk about liberty, but liberty delayed indefinitely begins to look like liberty denied. This is not just about one man, it never was. For people in the Northeast and the broader Himalayan belt, this story feels painfully familiar. Demands for constitutional safeguards have always been treated with suspicion. Ask for autonomy, you'll be labeled immediately as separatists. Ask for land protection, you are called anti development immediately, and that's happening with a lot of our tribes. Ask for dignity, you're told to wait indefinitely. So Ladakh's demand for sixth schedule protections mirror struggles that tribal communities in Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura have fought for decades. The logic is the same. Regions at the frontier are celebrated for their culture and strategic importance, but are mistrusted when they seek political power. We've seen this pattern repeatedly, haven't we? AFSPA normalized extraordinary powers in some of the states of the Northeast for decades, suspending ordinary rights in the name of national security. Student leaders, activists, journalists, especially from peripheral regions, are routinely asked to prove their patriotism simply because they demand accountability. Sonam Wangchuk now belongs to that long list of voices from the margins who were welcomed as long as they inspired and discarded the moment they demanded rights. What makes his case especially unsettling is that he is asking for solutions within the constitution. He's not calling for secession, he is not rejecting India, he is demanding that the republic honor its own framework. If even that is unacceptable, what exactly is democratic negotiation supposed to look like? And then there's the role of social media, the most uncomfortable mirror in this story. When Wangchuk was trending and inspirational, timelines were flooded with praise. When his work was easily consumable, support came effortlessly. But when his struggle entered the slow, grinding world of courts and preventive detention, the noise vanished. The lone YouTube comment during the Republic Day broadcast said what thousands of timelines refused to acknowledge. We moved on. Digital patriotism today is shallow and episodic. It thrives on virality, not commitment. It applauds courage but avoids consequence. Supporting someone is easy when it costs nothing. Standing with them when the state turns hostile requires attention, patience, and risk. Things social media algorithms do not reward. Republic Day is meant to be a moment of national introspection, but introspection is uncomfortable. It forces us to ask questions we'd rather avoid. What does the Constitution mean if extraordinary laws become routine tools against dissent? What does democracy signify if voices from the frontiers are heard only when they are non political, when they are good news? What kind of republic celebrates its builders, but only as long as they don't challenge power? A republic is not defined by parades or flypasts. It is defined by restraint. It is willingness to tolerate disagreement, but how it treats those who insist on being heard rather than quietly useful. The brief comment, therefore, under the Republic Day spectacle did not disrupt the broadcast, but it disrupted that illusion. It reminded me that Indian democracy now performs best when no one interrupts the script. But if a man like Sonam Wangchuk, who reimagined education instead of slogans, water systems instead of narratives, solutions instead of outrage, can be detained, delayed, and slowly erased from public memory, then the question is no longer about him. It is about the republic itself. Because a democracy that forgets its most sincere citizens should worry deeply about what it is becoming. Something for all of us to think about. And finally, if you like our work, do become a member of EastMojo. For a cup of coffee, I think it costs about 199 rupees. You can become a member of EastMojo, support us monthly it'll go a long way to support independent journalism. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.